This is a level 1 English reading presentation on how to identify the main points of texts. The aims of this session: we will reiterate the types of text you may be reading. We'll look at how you can use potted explanations to find information using the who, what, where, when, how structure. We'll look at identifying points of view in a text, and then we will get you to complete a quiz and a follow-up activity on this session. In this presentation, the word text will be used to mean a document, unless we're actually talking about text messages. There are 6 types of text which you read from. There are formal texts covering letters, reports, legal documents, for example. Informal texts covering text messages, emails, and stories. Instructional texts, assembly instructions, recipes, and user guides, for example. Descriptive texts, as found in adverts, articles, and witness statements. Explanatory texts, as in letters from councils or authorities. And persuasive text, found in advertising, selling documents, and opinion articles. Each text has its own characteristics. A formal letter or email may come with instructions about things you'll need to do and action you'll be expected to take. An article may describe the sites and environment of a particular place or raise awareness of an issue. Some text will put their points across inside a single paragraph. Others will take much longer to do so. Texts may also use images to outline what is happening or to convey a mood and atmosphere. In all the texts that you're invited to read, either for an exam or in a practical context, you should be looking and considering the following topics. Who is the text about? What is the text about? Where is the text concerned with? Does it affect me in my house or street? Is it about my town? Is it about my country? Or is it about another place, somewhere I've not been? When are the contents of the text relevant? Is it set in the past? Is it happening now? Is it talking about something that's going to happen in the future? Is it talking about an everyday occurrence? Or is it talking about something that only happens rarely? Why are the contents of the text important? And how does the text affect me or other people? Your text that you're reading may not contain all of these elements, but it's possible that they will start to link together as you read the text. So who is the text about and what are they doing? Who is the text, who is the subject of the text and what is it that they're doing that makes them so interesting that they're having the text written about them? What is the text about and where is it set? Is the issue at hand a local issue or a global issue? What is the text about and when is it relevant? Is it talking about something that's going to happen, an event or a campaign that's coming up in the future? Is it talking about an historical event? Is it talking about something that happens in everyday contexts and that you do or experience regularly? And why is the text important? And what does it want the reader to do? And there are other combinations as well. We'll see some examples here and how we can use who, what, when, where, why, how in context. So we have here a short piece of text which just reads, "Dear resident, we will be carrying out work on gas pipes in your road over the week 13th to the 17th of July. Access to the road will be closed from 10 o'clock to 1300 hours on 13th of July. We apologise for any inconvenience caused." So who is the subject of the text? It tells us it's the local residents in a particular street. What is the text about? It's informing that we've got work on gas pipes that's being carried out and that access to the road will be restricted on one of the days. And when is it relevant? 13th to the 17th of July is are the key dates they're working, and the road will be closed between 10 o'clock and 1300 hours, 1 p.m. on the 13th of July. So those are the 3 main elements that I would take looking at that text, and then it would be a question of how I would apply those in a reading exam. I'm going to look at it in a document that's a little more, that's a little larger and a little more wide-ranging in terms of what it covers. So I'll just read this text for you. This is a letter, and it reads as follows. "Dear Izzy, thank you for helping to tackle coronavirus in Africa. As a long-time donor to ActionAid, your contributions have helped us to carry out many important projects across Africa. Whether it's been improving sanitation and clean water systems in Malawi or building schools in war-torn Chad, your help has been invaluable. Now, with the world facing its greatest global health challenge in decades, your contributions can help us to tackle the scourge of coronavirus as it works across the continent. Issues of PPE for medical staff and members of the public have been highlighted in the UK, but remain just as great a concern in Africa, where public health is especially vulnerable due to other health conditions, which are rife in the continent, such as HIV/AIDS, malaria, river blindness, and childhood conditions such as measles and polio. Your donations can help us to get PPE masks, sanitizers, and many more essential items out across the continent. Due to the urgency of the situation, we're encouraging donors to make a one-off bumper donation to assist with the campaign. In exchange for making any extra donation, we have a range of goodies to say thank you, rolling up in 3 categories, from £10 to £25, £26 to £60, and £61 to £100 plus. Now, there's a lot of information in that document, and I may be reading the questions in the reading exam, and checking back over the documents in order to answer them. But again, using the who, what, when, where, why, how structure, I can at least glean different information from that letter to prepare me for the questions. So if I'm thinking about the issues, who is referenced in the letter? It's the work of a charity writing to thank a donor for their contributions. What are they writing about? They're writing to thank them for money that's been raised to assist with projects across Africa, such as building schools and improving water sanitation. Where is the letter concerned with? It's concerned with Africa. Why are they writing? They're looking for more help from donors to assist with protection against coronavirus. To be fair, that statement could also go under the what in this breakdown. And how can we help? One-off donations, which can help raise money for PPE, sanitizer, and masks. They tell us that donations can fall across 3 bands and that ActionAid will send goodies to you. So by identifying those points and applying them to this structure, who, what, where, why, how, I have a fair idea of the types of things that I'm going to be asked about in a reading exam. We're going to just have a look now at how to summarize points of view. As well as summarizing the main points of a story, letter, or article, you might be asked to summarize people's opinion or point of view. Again, some things to look out for when you do this. Is the point of view you're reading positive or negative? Are they supportive of what they're writing about or against it? Does the issue they're commenting on affect them directly, or are they talking about it generally? And do they make any suggestions or have any ideas which could affect the topic they're discussing? So if you get documents which apply people's opinions, these are the 3 things to look out for. Who's in favor of it and who's against it? Are they directly affected by it, or are they just talking generally about the issue? And do they have any suggestions to make which could improve the issue or change it? Anything you see in that might be referenced in an exam question. So let's have a look at some examples of points of view. This is based on if we were reading, say, on an internet message board, for example. So we have the scenario here. The Premier League is restarting on Wednesday, but should it be while concerns over the pandemic remain? Leave your comments below. So we read through the comments. Red Pool said, I've waited 30 years to see the mighty Reds win the title, and I've been good and waited 3 more months. Shops are reopening, schools are reopening. Get them out there and playing. Buzzard said, I don't see why not. They've had all sorts of medical advice and testings available to them. They're practicing social distancing and no fans will be there, so there's less risk to the public. GHY6 said they should have avoided it in April and given everyone time for the virus to pass so they could start from the beginning in September. It's only money that's bringing them back now. And Picasso27 said, as a cricket fan, I'm disappointed to see that the summer game will be losing out to football in terms of exposure and coverage this summer. Everything is still taking far too long to give us any kind of idea as to whether cricket will be played in 2020. So we can see, reading through that, there's quite a mix of opinions, at least 2 who are in favour of it, and 2 who are against. In terms of relevant points that the contributors raised, which we might want to think about if we were seeing such such material used in an exam, we can see that they have suggested that football should restart now that other services are starting up again, that clubs are following medical advice, clubs have access to testing and social distancing will be in practice. Some think that the only reason that the game is resuming is because of financial reasons, that football should have waited until the autumn so that the virus could be restricted more safely, and that football's return is affecting other sports from getting attention. So they're all things which, having read through, we may have taken from each contribution. I would suggest, if you're in that, if you read such a document and you're preparing before you answer questions, maybe just look to try and pick out one point of view or one overriding opinion from each one point that each person makes from the point of view that they put forward. So we're going to get you to try a follow-up activity, and there should be, if you're able to access it, a video called Main Points Texts. I'd like you to read those texts and complete the activity. You'll need a word process. You'll need to make sure you have a word processing document open so that you can email your work to me, davidp@provista.co.uk, for more feedback. If you're looking for further work on this content, I would suggest that you go to BKSB, open English Reforms, go to Reading and the Reading Text section, and in the L1 Reading Text resource, you'll find relevant sections including the main points and ideas in texts, and identify meaning in texts, and facts and opinion.